Alex here from BrokeHorrorFan.com, now with the ninth installment of What's in the Box. I'm sad to say that Halloween is over, but I hope you all had a good one. October's such a fun month to be a horror fan because it seems like everyone embraces the genre for once. But that's not to say that the rest of the year isn't just as fun. There's still a lot of cool stuff coming out, as I'll show you in this video and future ones. And we really love to celebrate the horror genre all year long, so let's get started. The only good thing about the passing of Halloween, in my opinion, is post-Halloween clearance. Now, I know Target had the Universal Monsters license this year and released a lot of cool stuff, but somehow I didn't get there till after Halloween this year, but I was eager to see what was left on clearance. I only came home with one thing other than some cheap candy because you can't pass that up. But what I found is something that really excited me. It is this great Creature from the Black Lagoon mask. This sold for $20 before Halloween, which to be honest is actually a pretty good deal considering the quality of the mask, but I found it for 70% off on clearance, so I only paid $6 for it, which in my opinion is a steal. I love Gilman, he's my favorite of the classic Universal monsters. I know his movies might not be the best, but they're always fun, and in my opinion he's definitely the coolest looking monster. So I've always loved him, and I've always wanted a mask. Now Target also had these cheaper plastic masks of Gilman and some of the other monsters. They're originally like $5, and they were cool and all, but it's hard to deny this great latex mask. It's really thick in terms of quality. You can tell it's pretty durable. It's a little smushed, so he's looking a little derpy, but I mean, it's still cool. You can tell it's Gilman. It's got good detail all along with his gills and everything. Only a couple color paint job. That's all he needs. It's also a massive mask. Like, I don't know. It's kind of making me self-conscious. Is my head too small? You guys would tell me if my head was too small, right? It's like a really big mask that I can fit it over my head with my glasses and everything, which is pretty rare. So I guess that's another good thing. My Target selection was pretty slim, but I've seen a lot of friends post cool stuff that they've found online. So make sure you check your local Target's clearance section for more. I'm pretty happy with this purchase myself. After scouring Target, I went over to my local Walmart to see what they had to offer in terms of post-Halloween sales. Their selection was even smaller in terms of costumes and decor and the like. However, they had a lot of horror shirts on sale, and I picked up this cool Freddy Krueger one. For whatever reason, I have a bunch of Friday the 13th and Halloween shirts, but not as many Nightmare on Elm Street ones, so I was happy to find this one. It was originally only $7.50, which is already a pretty good deal, but I picked it up for only $3.75, which is just an unbeatable price. Now, I love to support the smaller companies like Fright Rags, Cavity Colors, Terror Threads, Electric Zombie, just to name a few. Love their designs, and if you look up close, this is not as high quality a print as some of those ones. But I mean, it's a cool design. It is tagless, which I was impressed by. So I mean, if you're going to support Walmart, at least do it for really cheap and on clearance. They also had shirts from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Halloween, It, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, plus a bunch of generic Halloween-style designs that I think were even cheaper. So check out your local Walmart for that, but don't forget to support the other great companies putting horror shirts out there as well. Speaking of Fright Rags, just before Halloween they put out a collection of apparel dedicated to John Carpenter's classic film. Now, if you know anything about me, you know that Halloween is my favorite movie, but I already own so many Michael Myers shirts. They're cool, don't get me wrong. In fact, a lot of them come from Fright Rags, but, I mean, I need to mix it up a little bit. And Fright Rags did just that. They released this amazing PJ Souls shirt. PJ Souls plays Linda in the film. Now, it's a supporting role, but it's become a fan favorite, best remembered for her catchphrase, "Totally." It helps that PJ Souls is one of the sweetest women on the planet. If you're ever at a horror convention where she's a guest, please go say hello to her. She's so nice, she gives off this warm, motherly vibe, and I always make a point to say hello to her whenever she's around. Fright Rags also put out a Ramones-style shirt with their logo, but with PJ Souls and some of her iconic roles on it, as well as enamel pins that say "Totally," in addition to a bunch of great Halloween merchandise, so check that out. And while you're there, make sure you watch Fright Rags' new short. It's called November 1st. It's a fun little thing, it's only like 3 minutes long, about how Michael Myers spends his November 1st. Much like us horror fans, it's kind of a disappointing day for him. But you'll see a cameo appearance by PJ Souls herself, so make sure you check that out and pick up a shirt while you're there. In my last What's in the Box video, I mentioned that I like to include some old black and white horror films into my October viewing because I feel like it helps set the Halloween atmosphere. But the truth is you can watch these movies any time of year, which is why I'm excited to dig into Mill Creek Entertainment's Horror Hall of Fame box set. It includes 26 horror movies featuring genre icons like Boris Karloff, Vincent Price, Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee, and more. However, it's not necessarily the classic films for which they're known in here. The set's actually made up of 5 individual releases which Mill Creek put out in the past. The Vincent Price collection includes The House on Haunted Hill, The Last Man on Earth, Shock, The Bat, and The Jackals. The Boris Karloff collection includes The Black Room, The Man They Could Not Hang, The Man with Nine Lives, Before I Hang, The Devil Commands, and The Boogeyman Will Get You. The Hammer Films collection includes The Two Faces of Dr. Jekyll, Scream of Fear, The Gorgon, Stop Me Before I Kill, and The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb. The second Hammer Films collection includes The Revenge of Frankenstein, The Snorkel, Never Take Candy from a Stranger, Maniac, Die Die My Darling, and Creatures the World Forgot. The classic horror collection includes Five, The Mad Magician, The Man Who Turned to Stone, and The Terror of the Tongs. As I said before, despite the title, these aren't necessarily classic horror films. In fact, some of them aren't even horror. There's a couple of thrillers and maybe even a drama or two mixed in. However, there's still a lot of good stuff to enjoy on here. The Vincent Price set has The Last Man on Earth, which is a pretty fun adaptation of I Am Legend, which is my favorite novel, as well as The House on Haunted Hill, which might be my favorite Vincent Price movie. It's definitely up there. It's a lot of fun if you've never seen it. The Hammer sets have a Frankenstein and a Mummy movie, although not their originals, but still good versions. And there's a lot of other neat stuff mixed in. All told, you get 22 hours of movies, something like that, and you can find this for under $30. So it's hard to complain, even though the quality isn't great. It's Mill Creek, who aren't necessarily known for their top-notch DVD transfers, even though their Blu-rays are getting better. But the DVD sets, it's mostly 2-disc sets, except the Vincent Price one is 5 movies crammed on 1 disc. Kind of a shame, but again, when you're getting all this movie for such a low price, it's hard to complain. If you already own some of the individual sets, they've been released over the course of the last few years. You can pick them up individually still for like under $10 a piece, or get the whole set if you're looking to expand your collection with some titles that you might not have seen before. You've heard me mention Vinegar Syndrome here in the past, and my favorite of the obscure genre titles that they've released on Blu-ray is a movie called Raw Force. It's a ridiculous, over-the-top movie that throws in everything but the kitchen sink, and that's what makes it so entertaining. Now, my friend Brandon, who works at Vinegar Syndrome, knows my love of Raw Force, so he told me I have to check out Blood Beat. Needless to say, I was immediately intrigued, but I wanted to wait to watch it until I had a bunch of like-minded friends to enjoy it with me. That opportunity recently presented itself at a Halloween party, and afterwards I think half of the attendees enjoyed it for what it was, and the other half probably kind of hated me, but whatever, they don't appreciate the finer things in life. I will say, Blood Beat is not quite as good as Raw Force, but few things are. However, it's definitely weird, it's out there. But the important part is, it is about, if I'm understanding this correctly, a woman who, let's say, pleasures herself with a samurai sword that she randomly finds. And as she does so, the samurai kind of comes to life and kills people. It's a Blu-ray DVD combo pack, and it has reversible artwork. It was restored in 4K from the original camera negative, although some of the footage was missing, so the very end of the movie, like the last 15 seconds, are actually like VHS quality, but it kind of works for the film. Now, based on the synopsis, you probably already know whether you want to watch this one or not, and either way, you're probably right. Thanks for watching another episode of What's in the Box. I hope it helps cure your post-Halloween blues. Leave me a comment down below and let me know if you find anything cool in the post-Halloween clearance that I should keep an eye out for. You probably won't see What's in the Box videos quite as frequently as you did in October, but you'll still be hearing from me regularly, so make sure you're subscribed and like and share to show your support. Thanks.